Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Grey Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers laboring all throughout the four winds of the earth. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, Barakathum, to you brothers. And the title of this lesson is based off of a Financial Times article. The title of this lesson, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, is America, aka Babylon the Great, is crumbling from the inside out. Right? Because this dollar, this dollar. All right, and the value of the dollar is crumbling at a rapid rate, man. It's nose diving. All right, it says dollar on track for steepest annual drop for almost a decade. Analysts say Federal Reserve rate cuts will push the U.S. currency lower in 2026. So they already speaking on 2026. Being a horrible financial year. All right, in which, hey, the Lord's will that they, pop out the sea hip. we want to see the sea hip, presented on a worldwide scale. All right. The U.S. dollar is headed for its steepest annual drop since 2017, with Wall Street banks predicting further weakness next year as the Federal Reserve presses ahead with interest rate cuts. And, the international bankers, that's their money, all right? So they telling you that, hey, this shit is getting wrapped up. The greenback has slumped 9.5% against a basket of major currencies this year. So all the other currencies are doing quote unquote better, yet the dollar is doing worse. Now, the worse the dollar does, the worse these other currencies are gonna do. Contrary to popular belief, because you have some people that believe that all these other currencies are going to beat the dollar, and then that's just what they're going to use. No. Esau, all right, starting off with these elite, they bringing in a chip. They're not going to be dealing in the ruble or the, all these different currencies, peso, whatever. It's gonna be the sea hip. That's gonna be, they're going for a one world currency, which is gonna come through that sea hip. All right, it says, Trump's trade war sparked fears for the world's biggest economy. Yeah, so America has the world's biggest economy, right? It says, and cast doubt over so in Salakia, just while I'm thinking about it, it's like a giant marketplace. It's like a giant store, right? And the world's biggest salesmen, the world's biggest merchants are headquartered out of Babylon the Great. Specifically New York City, specifically, yet spread throughout the U.S. You have the people that work for them. These different investments. See, everybody that deals in the financial world, whether you're in San Jose and you deal with crypto, all that shit goes back to the international bankers. Which, hey, you people can keep playing with them if you want to. These Rockefellers, Rothschilds, so on and so forth. They're literally influenced by the devil. Literally influenced by the devil. All right, this ain't just a couple of bad guys. No, the goal is complete control. That CHIP is gonna come with complete control. Yeah, we sounding we sounding all crazy and this now. Okay, keep talking shit. They're gonna come with this CHIP. They're already saying how bad it is financially. So the CHIP is on the way. The euro has had the biggest gain of the major currencies against the faltering dollar, which is going to have a little rise, just like gold, silver, this is going to have a rise. Yet when the CHIP is fully implemented, see, once they fully get that CHIP going, all money's basically going to be useless. That's when we know that the faith is going to kick in, right? Because the Lord's will we be the elect. We ain't going to take the chip, so and we're going to have to lean on faith. And we know that the Lord is going to provide for us. It says this has been one of the worst years for dollar performance in the history of free-floating exchange rates. All right. Said George Saravelos, global head of FX research at Deutsche Bank, referencing to the more than half century during which currencies' values have been set by the market rather than tied to gold, so they can manipulate and do whatever they want to. So they're going to manipulate right into a chip. They're going to bring that CHIP out. It says, while the dollar's initial weakness was triggered by Trump's launch of aggressive tariffs against the U.S. trading partners in April, it was at one point down 15% against major currencies before regaining some ground. This up and down. See, this yo-yo, this financial yo-yo effect. See, this is going to come to a close, man. They're about to bring the CHIP out. Which, of course, this can be paused and read over. But, this is a pretty extensive article. Damn. Ooh. Here we go. They saved the best part of the article for last right here. It says Mark Sobel, a former Slovakia Treasury official and U.S. chair of think tank OMFIF, said Trump's erosion of the fundamental pillars of dollar dominance may be a very slow, long-term burn, but it still weighs on participants' minds. Yeah, so this is a slow motion into the CHIP. The dollar has bounced 2.5% off the low for the year it touched in September, in part because predictions that the trade war would drive the U.S. economy into recession have failed to materialize. And that's because it's happening so slowly that you don't see it, materializing unless you really paying attention. That's why Lord's will we be of the elect. We paying attention, right? And let's, because we can use a couple of precepts to match up the end of this article real well. All right, Salakia. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So the elect are going to be, delivered out of this current situation, which includes the sea hip. All right, though hand join in hand, though everybody's gonna try to be in one accord with the sea hip, because all these other nations are gonna bow to the sea hip. The only people who aren't going to bow to the sea hip, right, are the elect of the nation of Israel. And then of course you're gonna have certain people, right, who are gonna, they're gonna resist the sea hip, and they're gonna perish anyways. All right, the heathen. All right, the heathen. It don't matter. It don't matter whether you take it or not. You through. You done. All right. If you're not an Israelite, you're absolutely finished. Regardless. When it comes to the sea hip, we specifically tell our people, the Israelites, not to take the sea hip. All right. But we know that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, we know that 2/3 of our people are going to go against the Lord, okay, do what they want to do and be destroyed. Because the elect ain't taking the sea hip. Not one of the elect is going to take the sea hip. All right, Proverbs 11 and 22. As a jewel of gold in a swine's snout, so is a fair woman which is without discretion. We got to be able to peep what's going on and have that spirit of discernment, that spirit of discretion. Let's get that definition. All right, this is the definition for discretion: the quality of having or showing discernment or good judgment, the quality of being discreet, especially cautious, the use of careful judgment in making responsible decisions. Discretio, separation, act or power of distinguishing. Caution, prudence. Discerner, to separate, distinguish. All right. All right, so going back to Proverbs 11 and 23. The desire of the righteous is only good. Yeah, so all we want is the kingdom, right? For the heathen to be in subjection, for the elect of the nation of Israel to be up under the Lord, worshiping the Lord. The heathen got to worship the Lord. Okay, Jake living for, man, it's only good. All right, we don't want you in a computer program, with a sea hip, eating the bugs. That's not, what I'm saying? That just sounds wicked. It sounds wicked, evil. And it's a wicked and evil people that are setting that up and pushing. That's a whole agenda that they pushing forward. All right, Proverbs 11 and 23. The desire of the righteous is only good, but the expectation of the wicked is wrath. And you know what they got coming, man. It's Revelation 21 and 8. But the fearful and the unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The missile, man, this is gonna end with missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, touching down on Babylon the Great, aka America. Revelation 21 and 9, it says, and there shall come, Salakia, and there came unto me one of the seven angels, which had the seven vials full of the seven last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, I will show thee the bride, the Lamb's wife. Woo, the elect. Alright, now Lamb is Yahweh shot. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yahweh Shem Yahushai, having the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and being perfect. Part of that is being perfect, man. Our people, man, when we gonna be shining bright in that day, man. Lord's will of the elect, man. Revelation 21 and 11. Having the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal. It had a wall great and high. It had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Yeah, so it's all about the elect, man. It's all about the elect. That's what's being, that's what's being made known, is that it's all about the elect of the nation of Israel. See, because once again, the elect are going to make it out of this. Lord's will we be of the elect. All right, this is the real meat and potatoes of the article. Kit Jukes, currency strategist at Societe Generale, or Society Generale. I'm guessing General Society. Said we don't believe that President Trump's economic policy can derail the technological revolution that is going on the west coast of America. Salakia. Going back, I think I was at the end of verse 12. And we're going to get, which this is basically, going into the gates. Revelation 21 and 23, and the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine in it, for the glory of Yahweh Shem Yahushai did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. So that's who's gonna get us through what's to come. And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it. And the kings of the earth do bring their glory and honor into it. So in the kingdom, you're gonna have the people, the people that you consider these, high, noble, great, they're going to give their choices goods to us, such as the gold, cattle, so on and so forth. And only Israel's getting saved. All right. They gonna be up under us. All right. The scriptures. Well, let's go ahead and get in. Obadiah 1:21, and Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. Right, so the elect are going to be, Lord's will we be of the elect, are basically like miniature saviors. Right, that's why, hey, we follow Yahweh Shai, right? That's our savior, so we're gonna have characteristics of that, and ultimately, in the kingdom being perfect, I shall come up on Mount Zion. So Israelites, right, to judge the mount of Esau, start, and once again, going back to the bankers, the international bankers. You had the top of that mountain, that's them, the international bankers, right? That's the top, the tippity top of the mountain of Esau, Edom, right? It says, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's. So if the kingdom is the Lord's, and he's giving it to the Israelites, then there's really nothing you can do. You just gonna have to go with it. All right, the other nations, they just gonna have to go, go with it. Romans 9:4, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh Shem Yahushai and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who is over all, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, blessed forever. Amen. So he's over all. So he's set this up. What's about to take place? All right, this is our chance, our opportunity for salvation, not these damn heathens. You get sick of looking at them, right? Because they trust in this dollar system, not knowing that every single metric and every single graph is showing this dollar declining at a rapid rate. Going back to the article, though, it says that the currency strategist at Societe Generale said, we don't believe that President Trump's economic policy can derail the technological revolution that is going on the west coast of America. So, and that's being very heavily um, influenced by the other nations. You know, there is a tech race, so to speak, specifically with China, you know, India, you know, so on and so forth. Right, and it's right now this is economic. This is like a economic warfare, which is going to lead eventually to, you know, physical. And that sea hit being presented, that's just like a blowing of a trumpet. You know, that's just the beginning of the end, so to speak. And that is, you know, one of the main prophecies that especially Gray Millstone, you know, continues. That's basically one of the trademarks, you know, of this ministry that we're involved in, is the sea hip. And we are one of the only Israelite groups, so to speak, that, you know, bring up and mention the sea hip, tying it to scripture, you know. Romans 9:6. Not as though the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshai had taken none effect. Yeah, so these words are taking effect on the elect. They don't have to take effect. They don't have to take effect on nobody else but the elect. That's only the elect is gonna understand these words. Everybody else through. That's why it's you know, it should be none of your concern what the heathen got going on, right? Or that, you know, them, you know, their unbelief. Like we, you know, like we just gonna pack up all our shit. You know, all cause you don't agree, right? That's madness. All right, Romans 9:6 once again. Not as though the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshai hath taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. So you gonna have the 2/3. That's just what it is, you know. Basically in a heathenistic state of mind. Verse 7, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Alright, because Isaac is the father of Jacob. Jacob and Esau. Right? That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Especially, you know, and more specifically the elect. So this is, you know, this is for the elect. Revelation 13:9, it says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. So only the elect are going to be able to comprehend and understand what is being said here. Okay? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So we understand and know that if you lead somebody into captivity, you got to go into captivity. That only makes sense. That makes 100% sense, right? And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, which, this two-party system is based on a back and forth. And you can tell that Babylon the Great, aka America, you can tell that everything is divided into two different factions. Whether it's political, whatever the case is, he give you basically two choices, but it's both controlled choices. Right? If you go to get a bottle of water, you buying from two places. It's a monopoly, right? And it says, and he had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And how that's happening is currently living in this system and putting forth, all your efforts. You basically Rome 2.0. You basically a 2.0 Roman. Because that deadly wound was healed. Right? Because as we know, the idea and the essence, if you will, of Rome never went anywhere. It's still currently here. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast. Yeah, because how is everything approved, right? Through NATO, EU, right? And the whole world, who, in fact, now that I think about it, who has came against NATO and been successful? That's why it seems impossible. And see, a lot of these people don't even know what NATO is. They don't know what the EU is, man. Yet, even though they don't know, right? They still here it is. You don't know about that system, that beast system. Yet you worshiping in it. You doing it, but it's gonna be known. Especially when the C-hip come around, you gonna be knowing what you're doing. You gonna feel the urge to not take it yet. Some people are gonna let the flesh take over. They're gonna be scared, hungry, whatever the case is. Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Yes, so not taking part in that current or taking part in that system to come, which the infrastructure for that is already set up. They already got it. Really, all they missing is the C-hip. Everything that's put in place before the C-hip comes about, it's already set up. All right, Revelation 13 and 16. This is the point. And he causeth all, both small and great, right? So from the, guy who makes, from the guy on unemployment all the way to the guy who's on the Forbes list, right? Rich and poor, free and bond. So, in jail, locked up. That includes that includes the military, because you basically just government property. You basically like a slave. Okay. To receive, because best believe that if you're in the military, they're gonna be trying to hip you up. You think they're gonna make you exempt? You're gonna be some of the first people to got it, and this gives me speaking as a man. I believe that some of them already got it. Revelation 13:16, continuing down. Free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. So there it is. I don't know what else that could be besides a chip. It makes perfect sense to us, right? Lord's will we be of the elect. That's why it's making sense. Lord's will, it continues to make sense. Psalms 51. Lord's will, hey, Heavenly Father, keep His Holy Spirit upon us to know and to understand and, to see that these prophecies are coming to pass, that the Lord is the one that's revealing these prophecies, putting the dollar on Front Street. Now everybody knows, the dollar ain't shit. It used to be like a rumor, like, hey, I heard the dollar is tanking. No, it's a fact. It says, going back up to the article, but analysts caution that further gains for U.S. stocks next year may not buoy the greenback. While the dollar stabilized after the Liberation Day turbulence, analysts said Trump's chaotic policymaking had prompted foreign investors to start hedging their exposure to the dollar when buying U.S. stocks. So they putting their eggs in multiple baskets, because they can see that, hey, this dollar ain't shit. The weakness in the dollar has been driven in part by a structural reassessment of unhedged dollar exposures by global investors, particularly in Europe, said Deutsche Bank's survey, which those banks are in league with the banks of America, because it's all the same. It's Edomites. It's all the same people running and, giving the okay for the money to flow. Them money printers ain't printing without the go ahead, without the thumbs up. Because, see, ultimately the Federal Reserve owns the government. They're a completely private, separate entity from the government. They really running the whole show. Those international bankers, they really running the whole show, and then they sit up, and lie to the masses, saying that they ain't rich. You type that in, okay, who's the richest man in the world? They're going to give you 100 other examples besides who it really is. International banking elite. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, Gettys. So on and so forth. Bloombergs. Alright. Yet it's being revealed, the hidden things of Esau Edom being brought up, being put on Front Street. Alright, Revelation 13 and 17. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Yeah, so unless you got the mark, unless you got the MARK, you know, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing. I mean, not even a damn, pack of crackers, you know. You're not even buying an apple without that seal, right? It says that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Which all that comes together, all right? Because this system has to have this system has to be based off of what E's power structure, not the other nations. No, Esau got his own thing set up that he's pushing on the whole world. See, this how you know that this nigga the wicked. He the one that's ruling. His face on the money. He influencing all the financial decisions of everybody else because this nigga's the wicked. And it's not just one, it's the entire nation, which is represented, by the international bankers, man. Because they really the face, they the forefront of everything. They the one who's putting up the money for all this. When different things get approved, okay, they get more money for this or that, or this gets approved for a money increase. They not getting no money unless the international banking elite say that they can. And eventually they're going to cut, everyone off and present a CHIP. And the elect ain't finna take that. Revelation 13 and 18, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, 666. So that's an identifying marker, knowing who it's coming from. We know for a fact. We know who it's coming from. It's not like it's a mystery. Like, okay, who's gonna present the chip? No, we know who's gonna present that CHIP. We know who is coming. The controller of the money. That's who's gonna present the CHIP. Right? I forgot which one of the Rothschilds said this quote, but he said, "Give me control of the money, and I care not, who controls the laws, because they understand from a carnal standpoint, if you control the money system, you basically control the society." It's going to be digital, and we're going to resist that digital apocalypse that's going to turn into a physical, real deal apocalypse. See, once Esau starts smelling himself, so to speak, when he sees that the people are taking on the CHIP, on a worldwide scale, he gonna really puff himself up. But ultimately, we know that he gonna fail. All right, that's the patience. That's the patience of the saints. Going back to that precept, right? He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Part of that captivity is a financial captivity, along with a physical captivity, right? A mental captivity. E tries to keep you here. But this nigga's the devil, man. All right, and he will, ultimately be apprehended. It's being revealed that, that he's a fugitive now. We at the point where the Lord is Okay, about to have that C-hip come about, and then eventually the Lord come back and put this damn devil into subjection. And he's going to use us to do it, right? He's going to use his perfect elect to do it. Lord's will, we be of the elect. All right, so with that, Lord's will, you are edified. Call halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Once again, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, taught us his truth, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers, laboring all throughout the four winds of the earth. All right, we are right around the corner from the C-Hip. Lord's will, we get to see the C-Hip gig drop 2026. You know, it very well, hey, it could happen. This is what we hope and wait patiently for. And we can feel it, right? If not 2026, 2027. Right? But we know it's coming soon. All right, shalom.